Thank you, Jane. Welcome to Wales Today. I'm Teleri Glyn-Jones. Tonight's headlines. A teenage girl who stabbed 2 teachers and a pupil had previously been found with a knife and a BB gun in her school bag. The author of a major report says she could have benefited from targeted help.
There was a history of concerns and risks, and I don't think anybody really fully put all the pieces together.
Teacher Liz Hopkins said she welcomed the report, but that she couldn't imagine returning to work after the attack.
The incidents that are happening are the tip of the iceberg. I want the Welsh Government to be looking more deeply into why these situations happen.
We'll bring you all the latest, also on the programme.
Hey everyone, my name is Ryan. I'm the lead pastor of Citizen Church, a new church for Cardiff launching this autumn.
A tribunal's found a vicar claimed thousands of pounds for himself and his wife for work he didn't do. A controversial solar farm on Anglesey has been given the go-ahead by the Welsh Government. And we look at why a major Cardiff attraction funded by the Welsh Rugby Union has stopped taking bookings. Noswaith dda, good evening. A review has found that a teenage girl who stabbed 2 teachers and a pupil at a school in Ammanford last year was fascinated by war and weapons and had threatened a fellow pupil with a knife a year before the attack. The girl, who can't be named because of her age, was 13 at the time and was found guilty of attempted murder earlier this year. She was sentenced to 15 years in detention. A multi-agency review has found she would have benefited from targeted help if information had been fully shared and assessed. Meleri Williams is outside Ysgol Dyffryn Aman tonight. Meleri.
We already knew that this girl was troubled. After the trial, we heard that she would carry knives to school every day. But today, in this report, we've heard some more distressing detail about her fascination with war and weapons. And whilst the author doesn't point her finger directly at any one particular agency, there were opportunities missed, she said, to help this girl. The day Ysgol Dyffryn Aman was locked down after a triple stabbing seems a long time ago. But for the victims, teachers Fiona Elias here, then Liz Hopkins and a pupil, this attack during break time on the 24th of April last year will never be forgotten. The teenager had told friends she would stab Ms Elias that day, and later told police the attack was one way to be a celebrity. It's now emerged in an independent review that the teenager was found with a BB gun, a type of air gun, in her school bag before she joined Ysgol Dyffryn Aman. She had threatened a girl with a knife almost a year before the attack, and war memorabilia was found in her bag too. The girl has been described as being quirky, and the review found she had unusual interests in war and Hitler. It added that she had a fascination with weapons and would pretend that she spoke German and Russian. A referral to the Prevent Anti-Terrorism programme was considered, but not pursued, because she didn't meet the threshold. That triggered another referral for an early help assessment, but the review found that her father declined it. The review found that the girl had a troubled childhood and fractured parental relationships. Her emotional health may have been impacted by neurodiversity, it added, but it said an assessment or a specific diagnosis didn't happen. Her dad had agreed to daily bag checks after knives were found, but on the day his daughter used his knife to attack the 3, he didn't manage to do that. He said she was bullied and told the review that services had let her down.
There were opportunities where information sharing could have been strengthened, could have been more effective, and all of the agencies held information in relation to this young person, not just education, not just the council. All agencies had some involvement with her and had seen some aspects of her behaviour that was concerning.
Liz Hopkin welcomed the report, but still has concerns.
The fact that there were missed opportunities, that, you know, the inquiry has said, you know, there were people having many pieces of the jigsaw and none of them being put together as a whole. And that's what worries me.
In a joint statement, Carmarthenshire County Council, the head teacher of the school, Dyfed Powys Police and Hywel Dda University Health Board said they acknowledge the challenging and difficult circumstances faced after the incident. They will work with all partners, they said, to develop an action plan to address the report's recommendations. It was agreed, they said, to ensure all possible efforts had been made to learn from these events and to do so in a transparent and open way.
What we haven't yet seen from the Welsh Government, and we need urgently really, is a vision and a way forward, because my fear is that if that doesn't happen, then we could and probably will be looking at other tragedies in the future which could be even more serious.
The Welsh Government said it was working with partners to develop more effective multi-agency approaches to address behaviour issues in schools. The independent reviewer made a total of 11 recommendations at a local and national level to give better resources to agencies and for better information sharing, as well as staff training. We heard briefly there from one of the teachers, Liz Hopkin. She intervened during that initial attack on Fiona Elias. She grabbed the teenager as she stabbed her. Now, in her first interview since the attack, she told me earlier that the impact has been so great on her that she can't imagine returning to work.
It's been a long time, but it's still very much there in my head. It was intense. Had Fiona been on her own at that point, the outcome would have been very different. She stabbed me in the leg to begin with, and then she came towards me and stabbed me in the neck, and then twice in the back.
You held on for a very long time.
I held on for as long as I possibly could. I couldn't stay. I wanted to stay. There were so many children around, and I just wanted to keep them safe. I thought that was the end, really.
We're now more than a year from that attack. What impact has it had on you, Liz? How would you describe that?
I haven't been back to work. I can't ever imagine doing that work again. I can't imagine going into a school. I can't go past the front of the school. I feel that I've got a lot to offer, but everything stopped on that day. The person who did this, she's with me every day. I think about her a lot, despite the fact that I have never met her. I didn't know her. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know her name until after the fact.
Today, the independent reviewer has flagged missed opportunities. I wonder how you felt, Liz, reading that review.
I welcome it, but at the same time, the recommendations and what has come up in that report isn't anything new, thinking that there were times when perhaps people, or agencies in particular, could have discussed or shared that information and worked together. It could have made a massive difference. I think what will help is if people take the report seriously and don't just shelve it as another report which says the same as other reports. The incidents that are happening are the tip of the iceberg. There's not enough action. I want the Welsh Government to be looking more deeply into why these situations happen. There's nothing has changed.
Those calls by Liz Hopkin have been echoed by unions and politicians as this story has attracted a huge public attention. The Welsh Government told us today that they're taking forward actions after their behaviour summit. It said it was vital that lessons are learned, and that's all the victims want, as the school community here in Ammanford hopes to move on now.
Mallory Williams, thank you. Two men have admitted arson with intent to endanger life following a fire which destroyed a house in Ferndale in Trondheim last month. 19-year-old Irene Guster and 18-year-old Alfie Wheeler from Weston-super-Mare admitted the charges at a hearing at Merthyr Crown Court. Mr Wheeler also admitted possession of a machete, and both men will be sentenced at a later date. A tribunal has found a Cardiff vicar claimed thousands of pounds for him and his wife for work he didn't do and set up a breakaway church. 35-year-old Ryan Forey claimed the money while overseeing the Citizen Church. He also set up an app which allowed users to see the names of children attending church breaching safeguarding rules. Jordan Davis has more.
The Citizen Church in the heart of Cardiff student area Kitteys, and leading it was charismatic young priest Ryan Forey.
Hey everyone, my name is Ryan. I'm the lead pastor of Citizen Church, a new church for Cardiff launching this autumn.
He came to Wales 5 years ago and quickly built up a young, enthusiastic congregation, regularly posting videos on the church's social media and YouTube channels. But Ryan Forey was helping himself to money he was not entitled to. Ryan Forey paid himself and his wife thousands of pounds. He claimed £300 a month for work he did not do and arranged £500 a month for his wife in a clergy spouse allowance. And he did this for more than 3 years. But that's not all. He also set up a mobile app that showed the names of children attending his church, including children in the care system. And he refused to take the app down despite being told about the safeguarding and data protection risks. And in a move away from this church, he set up a breakaway church called B Church in Cardiff. It operated outside the church in Wales and without the permission of the bishop. This comes at a difficult time for the church in Wales. In June, the Archbishop of Wales retired following reports that highlighted alleged financial mismanagement and safeguarding issues at Bangor Cathedral. Ryan Forey was ordered to undergo safeguarding training and be supervised for 2 years before returning to his role. But he's now left the church and plans to return to England, and told BBC Wales he accepts responsibility for what happened.
Well, how do you balance the need for new energy projects that don't contribute to climate change with the impact on people who live nearby? Well, a controversial plan to build a new solar farm on Anglesey has been approved by the Welsh Government. The Alaw Morn development will see panels installed across 660 acres of land near Llyn Alaw. But some residents are worried about the increasing number of solar farms on the island. Gareth Wyn-Williams has more.
Famed for its fertile soil, for centuries Anglesey has been known as Môn Mam Cymru, the mother of Wales. But while traditionally used for food production, thousands of acres of this land are now being set aside for a different purpose. Over recent years, there's been a flurry of applications for solar farms here on Ynys Môn. The island's relatively flat and open terrain makes this land attractive to developers. The Welsh Government has now approved a new scheme that would see panels installed across 660 acres, or around 370 football pitches. The Alaw Morn development would produce enough energy to power around 34,000 homes, the equivalent of every household on Anglesey.
Solar is one of the cheapest forms of generating electricity, so we have to have it, and solar can be done well. It's just this isn't doing it well. It would be perfectly possible to have this capacity of solar spread out across the island without it having this impact, and that's what I would rather they did.
The decision has also sparked a mixed response within the community.
We haven't been listened to at all. I think the local feeling in the area has been really against it mostly.
Why don't we put it on people's homes? Why don't we give them grants and help people to keep their energy bills down?
I think it's a good thing. If you get the cheap electric or whatever, I think it's a good thing. You've got to move with with the tide.
Just last month, a rally was held on the island, with many feeling that decisions over major projects has been taken out of local hands.
It's the sheer scale that's the issue here. There are other alternative ways of harnessing solar power without having to lose so much quality agricultural land.
The Welsh Government's Cabinet Secretary for Energy and Planning, Rebecca Evans, acknowledged the possible long-term impact on the land. But approving the scheme, she said that the benefits outweigh any harmful effects, including the Welsh Government's target to generate 70% of electricity by renewable means by 2030 to combat the climate emergency.
To be honest, we need as much renewable energy as we can get in order to decarbonise our power system by 2030. Projects like this enable us to get closer to that target.
With similar developments in the pipeline, the arguments over the merits of solar energy are likely to rumble on here for some time.
Still to come in the programme. More on why one of Cardiff's biggest attractions is no longer taking bookings.
And you may have noticed that some trees are shedding their leaves earlier than usual due to all the dry weather we've had. But there's more showers and rain on the way over the next few days, with a wetter and windier end to the month.
Your energy bill will be going up from October if you're on a variable rate. The energy regulator, Ofgem, has increased the price cap, which is the maximum amount you can be charged for the energy you use, by 2%. It means that a household using a typical amount of energy will pay an extra £35 a year. Our money editor, Felicity Evans, is here. Fliss, this will be a blow for people already struggling with the cost of living.
Yeah, absolutely, Tulare. Don't forget, in April, we saw quite big increases in our utility bills then. And this year, the cost of food has been rising as well. So a lot of basic costs have been going up, and this will only add to the pressure on households heading into those colder months. Remember, it will only affect you if you're on a variable tariff. As you said, if you're on a fixed deal, then you will stay on that deal till it runs out. And don't forget, we're not talking here about the maximum that your bill could be, because this is a maximum on the amount your supplier charges you per unit of energy that you use. So your bill could vary. The best way to work out what it means for you is to look at your existing bill, and for every £100 that you spend, add £2, and that'll give you more of an idea.
And standing charges in particular could see a big hike?
That's right, yeah, absolutely. So our energy bill tends to get split into two, really. There's the amount related to the amount of gas and electricity we use, and then there are the standing charges for gas and electricity, and they are the things that we are lumbered with. We cannot avoid paying those, no matter how much or little energy we use. So obviously that means it makes up a disproportionate part of the bill for lower or fixed income households. And standing charges are there to cover the cost of delivering energy to your house, and they vary according to region. Now, if you live in North Wales, unfortunately, you pay the highest electricity standing charges in the whole of Britain. Now, they say that rurality and sparsity of population is part of the explanation for that. But, you know, if you compare it, say, with Northern Scotland, where those issues apply, there's still quite a big difference, actually. North Wales still in front by quite some margin. This is what people in Denbigh thought about that.
We've got one of the biggest wind farms off the coast here. I would have thought that was a really good opportunity to sort of level the playing field out.
It's unfair that we have to pay more when everywhere else is lower, but that's prices of everything's going up along here. I find everything is so expensive.
It should be more even across the country.
Now, the regulator has been consulting on making standing charges a bit more flexible, but that has not happened yet. If you want to try to reduce costs, probably the best thing is to shop around, maybe think about a fixed deal. And if you're on a very low income or certain benefits, you may be eligible for a special tariff that's called a social tariff. So contact your supplier and ask them about that.
Really useful information. Thanks, Fliss. Now, the legendary Welsh jockey and trainer Jeff Lewis has died at the age of 89. Lewis, from Talgarth in Powys, rode one of the greatest racehorses of the 20th century, Mill Reef, to victory in the 1971 Epsom Derby, and was the only Welsh jockey to ride a Derby winner. He'd been unwell for some time. Now, there was a big buzz when it opened last year, but an attraction which allows people to climb up and abseil off the Principality Stadium has closed temporarily after the contract with the company running it was ended. Bosses at the WRU admitted earlier this year that it wasn't doing well numbers-wise, but despite that, insists it will reopen soon. Nellie Bird is outside the stadium for us now. Nellie.
Well, this is the side of the Principality where the scale, the stadium attraction is. It's this platform here. It's actually about 60 metres up to the top, and people could then zip wire over the pitch and then abseil back down. But it is temporarily closed after the contract with the company that was doing the day-to-day running was ended. You haven't been able to book any dates on the website in recent days. I have spoken to some people, though, who have been able to extend vouchers that they'd been bought. When it was launched back in April of last year, there was a lot of buzz, a lot of hype about this, a real hope that it could bring in some big money for the union, which owns the stadium. But then in interviews earlier this year, bosses revealed it wasn't doing as well as they'd hoped. It was underperforming, they said. It wasn't bringing in that cash that they hoped, particularly taking into account the £3.9 million that they spent setting it up. So since then, there's been this attempt to try and turn this around. We now know that this company called Wire and Sky, which was running it, that contract has ended. The WRU do say this closure will be temporary. They say there will be news about a new partnership soon. But there's obviously a huge, intense spotlight on the union at the moment in terms of their radical shake-up of the whole system. There will then, I think, be scrutiny of what's happening in here and whether this is something that can be turned around and eventually made successful.
Nellie, thank you. For most people, losing a major organ at just 13 would be a massive life event, but Johan Hepburn sees it differently. He'd been racing downhill mountain bikes when he crashed before a race and pulverised one of his kidneys. Now 17, he's a European junior champion in track sprint cycling and junior world champion in the team sprint, with a place in the Commonwealth Games at stake. He's been speaking to Gareth Breyer.
In July, it was the European Junior Championships. Then last week, the Worlds. But for 17-year-old Johan Hepburn from Crossash near Abergavenny, it's been an unlikely road to the velodrome. He'd been racing mountain bikes downhill from the age of 8, but when he was still only 13, everything changed. An accident led to a kidney injury that would leave him in hospital for 3 weeks.
A lot of the times, like, you crash, you go down, it hurts, but I'm okay. Where I think that time it was definitely, there's like a burning kind of feeling coming from myself, and I was definitely like, this is not good.
He badgered his doctors about when he could start cycling again.
A lot of people asking me, do you think you'll ever ride again? Do you think this is something you want to come back to? And I was like, yeah. Like, just because I've had a small setback doesn't mean it's gonna like stop it forever.
It was a year later that Johan's cycling career took an unlikely turn.
Piloted by Rachel James.
Former Commonwealth track cyclist turned coach Rachel Draper was crisscrossing Wales with an exercise bike, looking for young people who had the raw power to compete on the track. She spotted Johan at the Usk Agricultural Show.
He was absolutely adamant he would not get on the velodrome. He was very much, I am a mountain biker through and through. You are not going to get me on the track. It's boring. I'm not interested in it. So I have a really strong memory of meeting Johan that day and also feeling really frustrated afterwards that we had a really talented kid who just had absolutely no interest in coming down to the track.
Rachel bumped into him again when she visited his school, but even then she was pretty certain he wouldn't be joining her. But Johan's dad had other ideas.
So I said, right, look, we're going to Cardiff for the day. We're going to go and watch the rugby. We're going to go to a gig in the evening. Let's just go to Newport on the way through to the velodrome and make it and have a day out. So he was going that direction anyhow. So I basically dragged him down there. And
I remember my first time walking like down the ramp into track. I was petrified. Like I'd never been in a velodrome before. I'd never been in that environment, I guess. And I was really scared, I guess. Like it was the first time I ever really felt like that. But I think I cracked out some like fairly good numbers on that day. Got really stuck in. Really enjoyed it actually. And then I was invited back for more after that. Yeah.
With junior titles of all kinds under his belt, the transition to the track has appeared straightforward for Johan. But Rachel is clear that the grit that got him through his accident is the same thing that is driving him now.
He's really good at like taking setbacks as learning experiences. Anytime that things have gone wrong for him, he's been really good about being just very objective, you know, taking it as a learning thing. Don't get me wrong, he is super competitive and he will be at these races wanting to win these. But if he doesn't, he knows that there's more to come in the future.
Next, he'll be trying for a place in Team Wales at the Commonwealth Games. Not bad for a kid who at one time would rather have been up a mountain.
Name to look out for, and the weather has turned. Derek, what can we expect over the next few days?
Well, we are in for a real mixed bag over the next few days, Tulare. Some sunshine, but also some showers and longer spells of rain as well. And watch out for some stronger winds over the weekend, particularly on Saturday. Back to today, and it was quite wet for a while in Abersoch in Gwynedd this morning, and we can see that rain quite nicely on the radar picture, spreading its way eastwards. It did clear, leaving a much drier and brighter afternoon. A sprinkling of showers in the west, and it turned out really quite nice in Aberdare. Some blue sky and sunshine there this afternoon with a high of 19 Celsius. Most places starting dry this evening, just 1 or 2 showers, and then overnight showers will become more widespread, spreading across the country. A few of these on the heavy side. You may hear a rumble of thunder. A little bit breezy on exposed coast with the lowest temperature around 11 Celsius. So it's an unsettled picture tomorrow then, with low pressure on our doorstep. That will generate plenty of showers. So a lot of cloud around tomorrow with a rash of showers, and some of these will be on the heavy side with a risk of hail and thunder. Later in the afternoon, it should turn drier and brighter. Some sunny intervals, but still a scattering of showers, and cooler than today, quite breezy, especially on exposed coasts. Top temperatures around 15 to 19 Celsius. Looking ahead to Friday, again, it will be breezy with a mixture of sunshine and scattered showers. Some dry weather as well, and temperatures a shade higher compared to Thursday, up to 20 Celsius in places. Then into the weekend, the jet stream will steer this deep area of low pressure towards the UK. That'll bring a spell of wet and windier weather on Saturday, a spell of heavy rain, but that will clear to sunshine and showers on Sunday and Monday. The showers heavy in places. Temperatures around average for late August. And then as we head into September, it looks like being changeable and unsettled at times. Wetter than average to start with. Strong winds possible as well, but it may turn drier and more settled towards the middle of the month. Tulare.
Derek, thank you. And that's Wales Today. I'll be back with the late headlines at around 10:30 this evening. But from all of us on the programme, thanks for your company. Good night.